Hello everyone, this is Vesper the Evening Star, and I'll be your host today on Vesper's Fanfiction Time. Today we are going to be reading Chapter 4 of You Call It Necromancy, I Call It Making Friends. Now, I'm super grateful for all of the support. I'm trying to figure out how I can do those community things where you make a mini announcement, you can write it out. But the verification is giving me some issues. So for right now, I think it'll just be through comment sections and whenever I upload videos. If anyone is wondering, the schedule for my uploading is going to be about 2 videos per week, at least 2 videos. Sometimes there will be more. Just depends on everything that's going on in my life and such. But yeah, so without further ado, let's jump into the story. Chapter 4. We need to talk about money. This is how Frank started the conversation that morning. Izuku was in the kitchen having breakfast. Ronan is in the living room watching TV, and Dobby was trying to see if he could fry bacon on his ribs. Mittens was somewhere in the house doing her cat things. Are we having problems? Ronan asked, muting the TV to pay attention. Not quite, Frank replies. Izuku, being the only one of us who needs to eat, makes things much easier, but still, if this group is to keep growing, we will have to move. Well, this apartment is for 1 person, and at the moment there are 4 living here, Dobby points. I see your point, Ronan nods. But what can we do? Hard to say. My boss is a cheap son of a bitch who doesn't want to pay me properly, Frank huffs. I'm the best healer in that damn clinic, but the bastard pays me minimum wage, and he still has the nerve to say, if you don't like it, you can leave, in my face. So, we need other options, Ronan says. Anyone has ideas? I might have one, Dobby says. Not sure if it's safe, though. Oh, what is it? Frank asks. Just something I heard on one of my walks at night, Dobby replies. I heard a group talking about some kind of underground guild. People go there to post contracts, and others go there to accept them. Basically, you get paid to fulfill these contracts. So, mercenary work? Ronan asks. Basically, Dobby shrugs. Oh, I heard of this place, Frank says. I healed a group that came from there. They said something about a contract gone wrong. I guess it's the best plan we'll have for now, Ronan says. None of us has an ID to get a legal job, and without knowing who we were before, it'll be quite hard to get one. He looks at Izuku. What do you think? Me? Izuku's eyes widen. Why are you asking me? Because you're our leader, Ronan smiles. You're the one who reanimated us. You brought us together. But I'm just... Izuku gestures to himself. Shouldn't you be our leader? Nah, I agree with Plainface, Dobby says. You're the one who brought us here, Izuku, and I think you'll do a good job leading us. Doesn't mean you're alone, though, Frank adds. We'll be here to help you. Izuku thinks for a few seconds, and then nods. Okay, in this case. His expression changes to one of determination. Ronan, can you look for clues? Anything that can lead us to this guild? Sure thing, boss, Ronan salutes him. Dobby, if we're going to do this, we need to be prepared, Izuku says. Mercenary work is a gray area at best, criminal at worst, so I want you and Frank to prepare gear for us. Something that makes it harder to identify us. Medical supplies, and weapons for Ronan. All right, boss man, Dobby says, and Izuku knows he's smirking. Sure thing, Frank smiles. Mittens, Izuku calls, and the cat soon jumps on his lap. Can you search the internet for us? He asks as he pats her head. We need loopholes we can use in case something goes wrong. Mitten meows and Frank's phone dings. All right, I'll find everything we need, the text-to-speech app says. And I guess we'll need code names, Izuku says as an afterthought. I doubt telling our real names is a good idea. Number 1 rule in the underground, kid, Frank says. Never let anyone know your name. Izuku nods and thinks for a few seconds. Then he looks at Dobby and smiles. Arsonist, he says. You're not wrong about this, but still... Izuku giggles. Do you know tabletop RPGs? Izuku asks, and everyone shakes their heads. They were extremely popular in the pre-quirk era. Nowadays, it still has its fan base, but it's quite small. Why pretend to have powers in an era where almost everyone has powers? He explains. Anyway, there are dozens of systems, and each system has a different class. I think Arsonist is self-explanatory. Good point, Dobby nods. Okay, I'm in. Great! Izuku smiles and then looks at Frank. You're Fixer. Your class is primarily a healer. Then he looks at Rowan. Fighter, basically a warrior skilled in many weapons. He scratches Mittens behind the ear. Artificer, and engineers and technology wizards. I like it, Ronan says. And what about you? Isn't it obvious? Izuku asks. There's only one class for me. Necromancer. All right, Dobby claps his hands. So everyone has their roles now. Get to work! As they get up to start doing their task, Izuku feels a hand on his head. See? I knew you'd do fine. You're a natural leader. Ronan smiles at him. Now, if we're doing this, we'll need to double down on your training. Are you ready? Izuku beams at him and nods. I'm more than ready, he says firmly. I want to be useful. You are, Izuku, Ronan replies, ruffling his curls. I still want all the training you can give me, Izuku says. Don't go easy on me. I wouldn't dream of it, Ronan grins. Be ready. I'm just saying, Dobby says from the sidelines as Izuku spars with Rowan. The aesthetic is already there. You need to embrace it. And where? Izuku dodges a blow from Ronan's bow-katan and tries to counter an attack with his staff, but is blocked. Am I supposed to find a scythe? He asks. Do you have any idea how hard it was to even find Ronan's tufas? Weapons are expensive, Ronan says, hitting a blow at Izuku's side. And you just died again. How many times this makes? Dobby asks. Today, 43. Since I started sparring with Rowan, 428, Izuku replies. Against 2 on my side. Dobby whistles. Man, you don't pull any punches, he says. How can you whistle? Ronan asks. You don't have lips. I stopped questioning, Izuku says. Dobby simply doesn't make any sense. He sits down and sips on a water bottle. And I don't want him to pull any punches, Dobby. I need to be ready. Who knows what will happen to you guys if I die? That's why we're here, Dobby says. We'll protect you, Izuku. And I want to protect you guys too, Izuku replies. So I need to get stronger. All right, Dobby says. In that case, how about another sparring partner? Bring it on, Bones, Izuku says with a grin. Sparring against a long-range fighter is a completely different experience, but Izuku learns quickly. By the end of the day, he even manages to land a blow on Dobby. The proud smile on Ronan's face was the greatest reward of the day. No mask, Izuku says, looking at the costume design Frank showed him. There's an old Yugusa group known for wearing raven masks. We don't want to be associated with them. The design is simple and reminiscent of a plague doctor's uniform. Shoulder cloak, a green hooded robe, long black gloves, a belt with a pouch, flexible pants, and long knee-high boots. Izuku also soon realizes that it's quite easy to hide armor under the robe. All right, should I choose a new mask or... No, let's leave it like this, Izuku replies with a smile. Sometimes hiding in plain sight is the best option. All right, Frank says, scratching something in his notebook. No mask. Now, onto Dobby's design. The red wire, the one on the right. That's it. Now carefully... No! The text-to-speech app instructs as Izuku tries to follow, but he's just no good with wiring. Sorry, Mittens. I failed again, Izuku says dejectedly, while looking at the collar that had just shorted it out and exploded. Again. We can try again, the app says. Failures are just stepping stones to success. I love your optimism, Izuku replies, patting Mittens on the head. But we will need new materials. I heard of a beach that has become a garbage dump in recent years, Mittens says. We can probably find some electronics to disassemble there. Izuku chuckles. All right, let me clean up this mess first. I'm covered in soot, he says. What do you think? Dobby shows Izuku his costume. Dobby's costume consists of blue pants, a white t-shirt, a blue torn and patched overcoat with short sleeves, and black boots. On his neck he has a silver necklace with a turquoise eye skull. Looking good, Izuku replies with a smile. Is this fireproof? Nope, Dobby replies, but this will have to do for now. I guess you just need to go easy on the flames, Izuku replies. I will never go easy on anything, kid, Dobby says. Well, it won't be my fault if you end up naked again, Izuku shrugs. The idiot thought it was fake, Ronan explains as he unwraps the cloth over the revolver. He sold it to me for just a third of the regular price. Is this a gun? Izuku asked, looking at the long barrel of the revolver, whose lower part looks like a knife. A gun blade. Do you have any idea of how hard it is to find one in Japan? Ronan asked. Very? Very, Ronan confirms. Most are held by weapon collectors and just won't part with their collections. He swings it a few times to test the weight. Imbeciles. What use is a weapon if you don't use it? I guess not everyone thinks like you, Izuku shrugs. Well, I know I'll make good use of this baby, Ronan replies. Want to spar? Izuku suggests. Sure, Ronan smiles. If you land a hit on me this time, we'll buy ice cream on the way back. Deal, Izuku nods, grabbing his staff. Is the lab coat really necessary? Izuku asks as Frank shows his costume. Of course it is, Frank replies. To be a doctor, I have to look like a doctor. Frank's costume includes a dark green sweatshirt, black pants, long leather boots, a bag tied to a belt, and a lab coat. His belt buckle is shaped like a skull, and a gun hoister is attached to his right leg. But you're not a doctor. Details. Frank waves him off. Okay, so what are we missing? Izuku asks. Ronan's costume will be ready in 2 days. And whatever Mittens is having you work on, Frank counts. After that, we'll just need to be ready for when he finds the guild. In that case, we better not slack off now, Izuku says. By the way, how did you get a gun? Someone tried to mug me last week, Frank shrugs. As it turns out, being shot is a lot less dangerous when you're undead. You're impossible. Izuku shakes his head and starts to leave. At least tell me you took the bullet off before healing. Who do you think I am? Frank replies indignantly. Of course, I forgot. How the hell did it take 24 years for you to die? I ask the same question almost daily, Zu. Yes! It works! An excited female voice comes from the collar on Mitten's neck. See? I knew you could do it, Zu! It only took 35 prototypes and 46 explosions to get that one to work, Izuku replies. 36 is my lucky number, Mittens replies. And now that this is ready, we can go to the next project. And what would it be? Izuku raises an eyebrow. Comms, of course, Mittens replies. I just need to set up a secure reception network that only our comms can pick up. And what do you need me to do? Izuku asks. For now, I need you to pick up the package I ordered, and it should be here soon. Now! On cue, a call comes from the door. Delivery for Mr. Midoriya, Izuku? How do you do that? Izuku asks. Trade secret, Mittens replies. Now, move on. I'll start setting the network, but I'll need your hands. Sure. Izuku goes to the door. Too bad we don't have some kind of mechanical hand that you can control. He misses the inspired expression on Mittens' face when she hears this. The night was calm. The group was at home doing their own thing when the door opens, and Ronan enters with Mittens hanging from his shoulder. She gets down and jumps onto Izuku's lap. He's wearing a jacket consisting of a dark gray jumpsuit, gloves up to the elbow, and combat boots. On his belt are a pair of metal tufas and his hoisted revolver on his thigh. I have the address, he says as he enters. The guild sits under an abandoned bar on the outskirts of Mustafar. To get in, we need a password. And how do we get this password? Dobby asks. I'm already 2 steps ahead of you, Mitten says, closing her eyes. The TV changes to an image of a camera moving around inside a falling bar to pieces. 2 armed men walk up to a back door and knock 3 times. A piece of paper slides under the door. One of the men looks at the paper and then knocks 5 times on the door. The door opens. The man throws the paper over his shoulders and enters. A few seconds later, the camera approaches the discarded paper. On it is a numeral sequence. 8981 equals what? Then the video cuts, and another person is shown. The same thing happens after knocking three times on the door. This one also gets a piece of paper and knocks 4 times. The number on her paper was 9826. 2 other people appear, but enter without leaving the paper behind. Another receives the number 6043 and knocks twice. 66317, 1 knock. 8932. 3 knocks. The video then ends. "What the hell?" Frank says. "Is there any logic in this?" "Of course it has," Ronan replies. "It's not that hard." "Oh, I get it," Izuku says. "It's the—" Mittens puts a paw on his mouth to stop him. "Shh, let them figure it out." "Oh, come on," Dobby complains. "Puzzles are not my thing." It takes Dobby about 2 hours to solve the puzzle, while Frank gives up after the first hour. In the end, Izuku tells the solution. The next day at night, the group heads to the abandoned bar. Ronan goes to the door and knocks 3 times. As in the video, a piece of paper is slid under the door. He shows the paper to Izuku. On it are the numbers 8893. Izuku nods to Ronan, and then knocks 5 times on the door. The door opens, and on the other side is a tall, hairy man with thick arms. A quick glance is enough for Izuku to identify that this is a gorilla mutation. He wonders how strong the man is. "First time?" the man asks, and continues before they can reply. "Follow the staircase and enter the door that is at the end of the hall. Fighting is forbidden. If you have something to settle with someone, take it outside. The master, you'll know who he is, will explain the rest." Izuku thanks the bouncer and follows the staircase. At the end of the corridor was a large red door with a silver star-shaped emblem. Below it were the words, "Silver Star Guild." "Ready?" Izuku asks, and feels a comforting hand on his shoulder. He doesn't need to look to know it's Rowan, or Fighter. He can't risk using real names here. "Let's go," Fighter says. Izuku adjusts the hood on his head, and then opens the door. Okay, everybody, that was chapter 4. It was really interesting reading this one. I did have to look up how to say 2 words for Mustafar. I had a really kind commenter tell me how to properly say it, so I referenced that again. I pulled up the comment. I was like, "That's how." Yes, I got this, And yeah, my stuttering got really bad a few times in this, so I really did have to kind of re-record stuff, cut stuff off and then restart. So that was a really interesting challenge that I've had to face before. But I don't know, for some reason with this chapter it just was happening a lot. But yeah, I don't know. Oh no. Oh, I always forget how to do an outro. But have a good night, good morning, good afternoon. Have a good day. Have a good everything, and I will see y'all next time. Bye.